Welcome back. This is the second video for Aion, or Aion, again, however you want to pronounce it. And this video is intended just to show you some gameplay. If all goes well, I may make a second one as well, but you're basically learning just as fast as I am. I haven't been in game for probably more than 3 or 4 minutes when I tested a mage out earlier, but I played long enough to just be able to make a video without stuttering too bad here. So without further ado, the game, first and foremost, that I noticed is very much like Lineage. It's actually made by NCSoft. It's the same creators that did Lineage 2. If you remember Lineage 2 or ever played it, it's very much more for the Korean game style. It's a lot more grind-oriented, and those of us that are American or Canadian, we just don't have that kind of patience. So for Lineage 2, only the hardcore American people who are truly into that kind of game succeeded in it, I would say. So this game, again, starts off very similar in that respect. It was one thing that I noticed, but it also has a lot of other things that I noticed from other games. Things like Final Fantasy XI, the MMO, things like World of Warcraft, as much as I'd hate to reference that game, but it's true. So again, my graphics are fully maxed, but when I render this video, it's going to look a lot shittier, but it's about the best I can do. So without further ado, again, I'm playing as a warrior right now, so, and again, you're learning about as fast as I am, so. Attack, your basic attack, pick up item. Looks like we have bandages in this game as opposed to potions, although I wouldn't doubt that you have potions later. Similar questing system. This one has to do with look at tardiness. That initial one wanted me to just go chat with Myers here. Next guy down. World's pretty sweet. Again, this is a starting zone, and again, this is closed beta, so it's got a ways to go, but it's pretty smooth from what I can tell so far. So now I gotta go kill these little Karoob guys here. Which are these little nearby bad guys. Looks like there's a number of other little noobs here. Before I do that though, actually fuck it, we'll show you some combat here real fast. The way that the class structure in this game works, from my limited knowledge, is that you start off in one of 4 primary different classes, and then what you do is after you achieve certain levels you actually sub-spec. So a warrior would probably branch off into something that's a little more sword and board, a little more defensive oriented, and maybe into something a little more melee oriented. I don't know if they're going to further branch at yet a later level. I know that Lineage 2 at the 20 level mark you would split, and then at the 40 level mark you would split yet again. So I don't know if they're going to do that same thing, but it's based the same way. Everybody kind of starts out the same. You have very limited skills in this game, and you tend to only get skills every 1 or 2 levels, and it's usually only 1 skill. Same thing with items. Usually your items, your armor may be every odd level or so. Weapons may be other even. So it's very few things to look forward to between levels. Because the game, I mean, by the time you cap out, theoretically, you should have a bunch of useful skills instead of a bunch of ones that you rarely ever use. Let's take all. They incorporate a button that says take all, which is my number 3 slot right now. That's something that they stole from Lineage 2. Or grabbed over, but basically when I'm done killing this guy here, I can just hit the number 3 button and it'll automatically loot it, as you saw there. I'm going to show you some of the interfaces though as I blow through them. Private stores, you can set up little stores in this game, kind of like you could in Lineage 2. Basically you can leave your character AFK in game, create a little store, people can come and walk up to you and interact with you as if you were a merchant. Macros are another big part of this game. Things like that they did in Final Fantasy, where you can call out a target, or you can cast a chain of spells, wait a second, cast another chain of spells, certain interactions, certain pieces of text. I'm sure a full listing will come out eventually, but all those macros can be tracked to your toolbar and then used. Inventory. So far, some other things. It looks like from the perspective of my inventory, they used shards in the old game. I can't remember what the hell they called, like power shots. I can't remember what it was, but basically you would engage them, and it would increase the damage of every swing. So you would blow through enemies faster, but you would technically You know, it costs money for these shards, so you're paying to level faster, so to speak. Looks like they also have things called mana stones in this game, which look like ways that you would imbue a weapon or a piece of armor, so that's kind of cool. I look forward to seeing how extensive that gets. Profile page, pieces of armor, tells me all my resistances, evasions, defenses, how many sockets it's got. Looks like these have one socket each. I know already that you can technically unsocket in this game. I think you have to pay a price for it, of course, but nothing is set in stone, so to speak. Weapons and all sorts of different slots here. The rest of my inventory, my stats. I'm not sure what Stigma is. Abyss is the center area between the two worlds. Envision a sphere. One of the set of faction is fighting in the upper hemisphere, and the lower faction is technically fighting in the lower hemisphere. So you got upper versus lower, and in the middle there's kind of what I think they call the Abyss, and I think that's for all the PvP-oriented stuff. I'll show you here on a map. Where I'm at right now is, well, a specific zone of LCS. So you can see that I'm in the lower sphere here. See how the world looks like it's kind of broken apart. So in the lower sphere, I'm on a particular island, and if I drill down, I'm in a very specific subsection of that respective island here in the beginning. So if I go to Abyss, this looks like clearly like some sort of PvP-oriented zone. What else? Alliances, skills, which I will eventually be able to drag here. I know it's just a shit ton of emotes, so it's fucking crazy. Oh, stand up, you fucking filthy hoe. Come on, get up. There we go. Oh, you should be able to hear it, man. It's fucked up. Let's see. Quest log, typical. In-game petition, of course that's prevalent right now because it's closed beta and they want us to tell them of everything that's going on. It's got pretty good Alt-Tab ability, what I've managed to find so far. It looks like some sort of social tab in order to make grouping up easier, so that's kind of cool. But let's, enough of that, let's show you some more combat. And again, just a reminder, the game is much smoother without fraps going here. So when I was playing the mage, you start out with a firebolt, and they also have a second skill that you have, which is like a root. It's an AoE root, so anybody that you're engaged in combat with, you can root them, run away, start nuking again. I'm not sure if sitting in this game technically helps you regenerate faster. Your guess is as good as mine. Again, I played this for like, what, 5 minutes before I started recording, so relatively new to this. Maybe I'll eventually come back and play the game from a more informed perspective. Technically, I'd go return that back to him, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down the hill here, and I'm just going to show you the town real fast, and I'm going to call it a video. My specs right now, and again, rendering, it's going to take a lot of that quality away, but I'm running a GTX 260, 4 gigs of RAM. I can't remember what my CPU is off the top of my head, but more than sufficient to run this. Apparently there's different kinds of quests too. There's interesting kinds of reward quests, but I'll see if I can't show you real fast what I meant about how like you get skills and weapons like every other level. So it's every level you typically have some sort of skill or piece of armor to look forward to, but if I'm not mistaken, that shit's expensive in this game. Remove mana stone, so that's what I was talking about earlier. You could remove a socket. Level 3 or higher, level 8 or higher. Level 3 or higher, dagger swords, level 8 or higher. So you can tell that you get a weapon increase like every 5 levels, and the amount for those level 8s was like 4,000. Now, I've got 47 gold or whatever the fuck you want to call it, so I got a ways to go. Things, again, in this game are insanely effing expensive. These little people here in town, these are people who I was talking about who've got little shops set up. Later on in game, like in some of the major towns, you will try loading into a zone if it's anything like Lineage 2, and it's just fucking chock full of people and merchants. Warrior trainer. I'm not even level 2 yet, so I'm not going to be able to buy dick shit, but level 3, level 5, level 7, level 9, another couple skills for level 3 and 5. So looks like you're getting skills every other one, but it's not like you're getting a ton of skills. Again, Korean-based game, got to remember that. And but I think that's good enough for now. I kind of showed you the map, the inventory, the profile picture, and just a basically gist of the game. And depending if you guys want, I'll make another video going into further detail or possibly another cast. So we'll see you around.